So a couple of unique kind of tips to coping with this is, first of all, I never um, I never listen to the doctors anymore, and I've never been a really good patient. When they tell me I have to do steroids or chemotherapies that are going to kill me and all of these things, I don't subscribe to that for myself. And after my experiences with all the top neurologists and UCSF and the top dementia expert for Kaiser and all these different opinions, and working with so many people that are actually diagnosed with frontal temporal dementia, um, and going with my own symptoms and what's on my PET scans, and knowing that none of the labels matter, but I do know what symptoms I have, and I know that I've experienced my life and how it's going, and I can read, and it's pretty much what they're doing, except that they don't really read your file. They don't have time. We all know that all doctors right now are burnt out. Minimum on research is 40%, and how honest are they going to be? So the bottom line is that, in social services, the burnout rate's 5 years. So these guys are buried in debt, and I've talked to a lot of doctors that are paralyzed in the idea that they have wives and they have family that are dying and they can't help them, but they come to Qigong and they see help. So that's one of the most unique ways to approach it, is I will not take the pharmaceuticals. I know that all the college funding and all the college education and all the college research that teaches all of this, that also makes all the commercials that I don't watch TV on, it's just a racket right now. And the doctors are doing the best they can. However, thinking outside of the box has been more beneficial for me and for other people that think outside of the box. So I have not been on a litany of pharmaceuticals. And I got to thank a really good friend of mine, and I'm going to keep his name anonymous, but he's a very, very special man to me, who's gotten me cannabis lotion, and I use that for pain. I won't take any pharmaceuticals. I can't afford to be on narcotics. I lose my contact with God, I lose my contact with me, I lose my contact with you. And that is what God is to me. God is just love. And I become heartless when I'm on those types of medications. And everyone that I know that's been on those medications, side effect after side effect, more drugs, more antipsychotic drugs, more debility, fast progression. So reversing the progression has been a trippy thing. I didn't expect it to happen. I'm watching it all unfold. I have all of these arms come around and give me little messages and guidance and carry me on when I'm just at the gates of death again. And I can tell you that this has been the deepest, most difficult, hard journey I've ever been on. And of course, my soul would sign up for that, because I'm a badass, and I could see me just say, bring it on. I want it, as hard as it can be in this lifetime, so I can get as much done and bring as much love and joy and peace and openness and wisdom. I want real, wisdom, like mystic type wisdom, but the inner knowledge of what all of us are inside, away from all the filters. And so, so back to being unique. The first thing that I did was I looked up anybody that survived frontal temporal dementia. I didn't have any luck there. And then I looked up, because I was having these Lou Gehrig's ALS type symptoms, I looked up people who survived ALS. And a Radiac machine by Edgar Casey came up. And so that's a really sweet process. And I do that. It's a battery. It's like, when you have acupuncture and they put those roach clip things on each needle to balance out your meridians. Well, this is the same thing, except for you put it on your pulses and you rotate it around. It's about a half-hour process. It takes, some ice and some water and some sun to make it all happen. But it's an old remedy from Edgar Casey that really makes a difference. And not only that, I can listen to a lot of the Qigong stuff while I'm doing it. So it's beautiful. The sound healing in the Qigong has just healed my heart. It's I had apathy, and I didn't feel my own feelings or feel anything for a couple of years. That was a blessing, because I couldn't handle feeling all the stuff that I was doing and going through. But it was also a curse, because I couldn't feel any love. I just felt flat. And the sound healing brought back my heart space. And so I didn't see that coming. And I didn't see any of these answers coming. I didn't see the Qigong coming. You know, I read the diagnosis, and I basically I knew I was going to do my best living while I could, but I wasn't going to live the way that they said I was going to live. And so I've always had an exit plan, and we came close to it twice now, and it seems so weird because both times it headed up in April, and then the plan was in July, and then just a couple of weeks before we order the necessities in order to not implicate anybody. All of a sudden some weird answer comes trickling down from heaven, and I shouldn't use the word heaven because I know most people don't use that language, but for me it's a metaphor, just, you know, from divine inspiration. It doesn't have to have a religious connection. So in any case, I've been informed about some cell salts, and they've made a tremendous difference with the U-Station. And I got to say, even though I don't listen to the medical industry, when it came to the U-Station, I was in so much pain in the last year and a half. It went all the way up to a 20, and it was still that way after the last retreat that I went to, and for even 2 weeks after that, it got worse and worse and worse. And the retreat says that there's always purification symptoms, but this was so bad before I even went in that I just thought nothing's helping it, and it wasn't. I was doing Qigong all day, and I was having improvements on all kinds of other counts as far as my symptoms and progression and my capacity and my abilities. And I just can't even begin to tell you how many improvements I've had. I've had just, you know, mind-blowing things stop. You know, crackling and pains that were in other places, and contorting of the bodies and tweaks, and numbness in my feet, and not being able to walk and being so dizzy, and all of those things have dissipated to a great amount. I mean, I'm on a very tight rope. I have to keep things very quiet, very calm, and do a lot of Qigong and not take on anything. And if I'm doing all that, I'm somewhat okay, as long as I don't have the phone ring. I just can't handle a whole lot of stuff these days. So, but don't stop telling. I'll get back to you when I can. So I have all these, you know, great things that I've been able to do, you know, and all these things that I want to share with people, like, that I've done that have made a difference. And no TV is a big one. You know, I don't need to pollute my mind with a bunch of that. And no pharmaceutical drugs, and not getting caught up in the label. You know, the doctors will tell you, this is what your PET scans suggest, this is what your symptoms suggest, and then you know, you can figure it out just by doing a little research on the internet, as well as they can, because they just say that we can't say for sure until you do your little autopsy. So we'll never really know until we won't know. And it doesn't matter because, you know, I have a plant over here. I'm going to get it. But this plant, in this last year of practicing Qigong, has grown new leaves, and it grew a new flower up on top. It was a dead plant. And I've been practicing for 1 year, nonstop, and even if it's hard for me, I still do it every day. And I walk every day, and I can't, you know, that's got to be my top priority. And if this plant could grow new leaves the way that it has, it's a message to me that I can grow new neural pathways, and I know I have, and other people know I have. They've seen big improvements, even though I have a mountainous long way to go. So hang on. This is my plant. So if you see down here, this was a dead plant down here, and this new leaf, look how shiny that guy is. That just popped up. And now this is fake, so don't pay any attention to that, because I stuck a fake one in. But look at what happened. On top of these stems are these beautiful new leaves. Now that's bizarre. I've talked to people in at the farmers markets and other people that have been into, everything's falling. That's the story of my life. I wanted it to be pretty in the background for you, but anyway, so yeah, so if that plant could be getting that much from the Qigong, imagine what's happening to ourselves. You know, if we're 98% water, and, you know, water vibrates to sound, you can see how the sound healing really works. And I've rolled my eyes at that sound healing, because I've been working on healing and teaching and unlearning and learning, starting out 27 years ago in 12 steps and just massive amounts of personal growth development work. And thank God, because I couldn't stand the way I was. And I'm so proud of myself for how far I've come in this lifetime. I'm just really impressed that you can make those kinds of changes and become whoever you want to be. And just having love as the operating system has just been such a gift for me and everyone that I'm involved with. So I have so many other things I want to share, and I'll think of all of them as soon as I hang this up. But I'm going to go ahead and put this one down in spite of all my chaos, because that's how my life is right now, and I can still love myself and accept it, and I hope you can too. I think my biggest message is you don't have to live in the box. You don't have to go through this the way that they say. There's other things out there. Just, if you want, be open, and many miracles will come along. I'm going to share my Carol story next.